We kind of said that, of course, again you see that we couldn't complete it. Thought maybe completed this whole things, but we couldn't go. But also just kind of like reading and going through so quickly that doesn't really make anything kind of purpose. So we went through a little bit of details, and as much as I can do, or we kept time, we did that. So I think I'm quite feel happy, and even though we didn't finish it, we did quite. I think we did our best, short, and so I'm happy a little bit that. So it's not that I feel bad that I didn't finish that. So that's how I'm talking that. And now we go here, as we yesterday we stopped. What? Well, in the left side? Oh, thank you. Thank you. And then thank you. Yeah, here we're going to go in the page what? Yeah, page, so that's, I think you know. And here says, the arriving of your understanding at the origin and nature brings certain realization. And distinguishing in this manner without the confusion regarding the essential point. And it is the supreme important to apply yourself to the vessel point of the practices. And then is concluding the sixth session, sixth chapter or sixth divisions. That is so six. What I said here from the Vajra, understanding and section. Section. So sixth section is we completing that. Now here say the arriving of your understanding to the origin and nature of certainty realizations. Certainty realizations. That means that it is so important to have the certainty to our view. What we're doing now, what we practice? We're practicing the Dzogchen meditation. Meditation is we are really maintaining the view. That is, and we must have the confidence to discover that really with the confidence view. And what is this? Generally, we mentioned, or you know, there's three things: view, meditation, and conduct. Those are three. Always in the teaching mentioned three things: view, meditation, and conduct. And view is what? View is to this time. View is discovering our inner nature of the mind, or recognizing our inner nature of the mind. That is our view. We're going to discover our inner nature of the mind. And the inner nature of the mind, I think we went through quite a lot, and I'm sure you already know that. And the mind is, we discussed in the teaching, is totally emptiness. Also, this is not just an emptiness, a blank emptiness. It is openness and pervasive and vastness and openness. That is really the nature of the mind. And as simply to tell, and that in the teaching mentioned, to discover, looking to our own mind. Mind. By our own self. When we look to our own mind by our own mind, what we found, there is nothing we did not find anything that we can hold on. We can kind of cling. It's totally kind of open status. That is the view. That is really the absolute view, not just a view, absolute view. And therefore, in the teaching said, when you did not see anything, that is supreme seeing. Many times, our conception always have thought, I like to see something that I can hold. But nature is, or nature of the mind, the absolute nature is beyond any categories, beyond any existence. For those reasons, the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni, and then repeated by all the great masters, continually, is free from nature mind, or the nature, absolute nature, is free from existing, non-existing, neither and either. Those are really teaching mentioned. Those words are not playing the word games. We can discover our own self by looking to our own mind. Of course, there is the view of all the universe and the world and all that, and Buddha kind of externally went, the great teacher Buddha went externally. Form is the emptiness, the perception is the emptiness, conception is the emptiness, kind of went externally, but finally came to the consciousness, mind. Mind is the essential. In the Dzogchen teaching or in the Mahayana teaching, whole universe and world is created by the mind. We went through those, little bit kind of explainer of those things, how that developed, all that. Developed. So the creator of the universe is not really existing as we believed. Our creator of the universe, of our mind, according to Buddhism, that is the creator. This creator of the mind is universal. All our habit pattern is totally this emptiness. But emptiness is just because the great teacher Buddha used that word to against it of the clinging and the grasping. Nature is not just empty. For that reason, said emptiness is a form. That is what. They are together, inseparably. The moment, for example, our thought arises, thought comes, we can feel thoughts coming. Oh, this is good. For example, if you say, oh, this is good, I like that. But what is that, if you think that? Where is that I like is? If you really ask a question and look, investigate, or analytically is, nothing can explain. No, even the scientists, physics, I don't can explain anything. That's how the nature is. But this time we discovering that ultimate, exactly that nature. That nature. Why we need that? Because it's totally against it, or totally antidote of this grasping, clinging. Grasping, clinging itself is also empty. There is no solid existing grasping, clinging. Clinging. But we, sentient beings, or the beings, we can hold on to that existence. Oh, this is the good, this is the bad, and kind of regiment thought, that hold. Reality, that duality conception is empty, or no, empty of nature. Same thing, this universal world is empty of nature. That's in the teaching mentioned when you have the realization. But in order to discover that nature, we go with in the Dzogchen teaching, go to the mind, and to discover the innate nature as it is. That is then totally open and empty of all the conceptions, all that. And when we discover that, that is, we now able to viewing the natural exactly as it is. We're really viewing. We're seeing. That's what the great teacher Buddha used the name seeing path. You see. or sometimes I think in the translated maybe the insight, but seeing. What you saw, or we saw, exactly nature as it is. That is view. That is the discover. There's nothing go further than that. If we go further than that, we're coming back to the dualities. Duality is a samsara mentioned many times. I mean, I didn't say that myself, but in the teaching, duality is a samsara. Samsara is created by that duality. That duality comes from mind too, from emptiness mind. That we discussed that really called those things. So keeping that view, keeping that recognition or have that recognized, that's known as glimpse of realizations. Glimpse of realizations. Those other in teaching said what? And recognizing. You recognize now. You discovered, or we recognize, we discovered. Now, that recognition, recognizing and discover is not enough. Why? Because that is just a glimpse in nature we discovered. But due to all our habit, clothes with our habit patterns, turbulence of the habit pattern, it can cover up again. Again, it's just a blurred web. For that reason, we need meditation. Meditation in the Dzogchen teaching. Dzogchen, on the absolute level, is maintaining the view. Also, this is known as in the practice of lineage teaching, mentioned recognizing and now zarzo. Zarzo means zarzo, which means re-strengthening. Re-strengthening. Re-strengthening is only by the meditation and with the accumulation merit. As mentioned to you all, and the teaching mentioned. So now, to re-strengthen that, re-strengthening of that, our meditation, or re-strengthening that our realization view, that we can continually kind of expanding. What we saw the view is kind of in a way small, short, small, but we have to expand as like sky, as vast as the sky. Therefore, sometimes in the teaching, I'm sure you read the books, the view is beyond central and edge or limitations. That is view. True, really view. But for us, we saw a glimpse of our own nature by the great techniques of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni or Dzogchen teacher by Buddha and Gurupema. We saw the glimpse nature. Now we have to, as I said, zarzo, in the Tibetan word, zarzo, means re-strengthening. Re-strengthening. That is, have to be continually. Continually two things. Accumulation merit versus the merits. Both merit. Accumulation merit is a joy and appreciation, bodhicitta, devotion, and all those are like 6 paramatas the great teacher Buddha taught. All that, like 5 paramatas, all 4 paramatas, those all is accumulation merit. We need strengthening. Can't ignore. Accumulation merit cannot ignore. And for that reason, great master, in the teaching mentioned, the Loba said to Naropa, dear son, until you had the realization of the unborn perfectly, that long should not stop the spinning the wheel of the two merits. Spinning the wheel of two merits. Accumulation merit versus the merits. Accumulation merit, as I said already, all 6, 6 paramata or mainly 4 paramatas. Generosity practices. And then generosity has a lot, there's different divisions. Those are, you know those, that. And then moralities, conducts, and patience. Those are 3 accumulation merit, leading accumulation merit practices. Together with joy, appreciation, thankful, courage, and commitment. And then apply, continually maintain, uphold by the joyful effort. Vriya paramata in Sanskrit. Vriya paramata, joyful effort to the virtues. Virtues, all that means that symbol is joyful effort to the practices. Joyful effort to the practices. Keeping that. And together with also shamatha merit, settling down our mind, calm and peaceful. And then in the teachings, wisdom merit is the meditation, panja paramata, such as the Dzogchen meditation. Dzogchen meditation is the wisdom paramata. This is wisdom paramata, the wisdom merit. Reality, both are together. That is called, we are keeping, maintaining and re-strengthening our view, understanding of the view. Then we continue that, then is our realizations grow stronger, deeper and deeper. And during those re-strengthening to accumulation merit, there is also not always easy ride. There is many different experiences will come inwardly. Different inwardly experience. Those are meditation teaching. Those books always say teaching. And external also turbulence of the kind of comes. And come with the turbulence of those 5 obstacles of the practices. Those are by highlight of the great master Nagarjuna. All the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni taught as Nagarjuna repeatedly strengthened that. Those all could go. But don't let to control by those robbers. Those robbers. Then really we are losing our ground, our identity, our qualities. That so keep up continually. Then continually by re-strengthen, and then finally what comes? Then stabilize. Complete now become firm. Ngo in the Tibetan word, Ngo Zadzo Tembatu. Now we gain the ground. Then cannot shaking. Shaking cannot. It is in a way, in the great teacher, Buddha teaching, many times teaching said, no return status. No return. No return to the samsara. No return to the dualities. No return to the world of the karma and those old things. We continually really progress and developing, and then advancing the bhumi and the path, and that. So that is so important, and that's where the thing is, and that is here said here. So then that, and so with that, and then here said, I think I already mentioned those distinguishing in the manner without confusion regard essential points, and without the confusions, those are mainly there's confusion such as wild thoughts and dullness thoughts. And then also kind of sometimes because due to the meditation, sometimes it bring more joy and peace, happiness, too, and kind of attached to that too. No attachment, no grasping, but continually meditating. Whatever it is, continually really keep the meditation, and then not that those 5 what's called this confusion, such as then those 5 robbers, and all those emotions experience will not disturb that, and then so that's so continually keep that, and then that way it is supremely important to apply yourself to the vital point of the practice and keep not forgetting instructions. instructions of the teachings, lineage teaching, you apply it to the heart and mind. So that is really kind of the meaning of this, and then again I just will say kind of to highlight of this what we need now when we practice it. I always talk. I mean, that's a great master